Hey guys, this is GamerCal. I'm excited, but I've had to do a lot of takes of this so far because I don't really know how to condense this enough. We are drafting Neo Genesis, and in the time-honored tradition of all of the progression series style things that are out there, say it with me now, this set changes everything. Unironically, this is probably one of the most game-altering sets that we have seen so far. And that's with the context of this motley crew up here. I'm gonna make a separate video talking about what was gone wrong with this format that made it so miserable in the last episodes, like both of them. I'm gonna go into that later on, but for now, let's look to the future, because as the start of Gen 2, the Neo Genesis set has a bunch of really cool stuff in it, some new mechanics as well, actually, and that is the main thing that changes things for the better here. So there's two things that are brand new in this. Pokemon tools, like the Goldberry down here, these are equip spells in Yu-Gi-Oh! Except these are way better than equip spells ever were, because it's not quite as easy to delete these from the board, right? Because it's not just as simple as having a higher attack Pokemon or something, right? You've got to actually take a knockout to get rid of them. Or they do their thing. Like Goldberry over here is basically a delayed super potion, but you can do some really fun tricks with that too. It's super good. There's going to be a lot of these as we go, so now we've got stadiums, we've got tools, supporters come out in like 5-6 sets time or something, so there's still not quite everything from the modern format, but we have supporter-like effects here, where you can't play any more trainer cards this turn as a thing, so we're starting to get down that sort of road, right? There's a bit more design space being opened up, but the real thing is the baby Pokemon. Cleffa is the thing that really changes everything, but there's so many good ones. I think basically every baby in this set is good to, varying degrees. The baby rule is probably the most divisive thing in this set, really, but it honestly is a godsend for the way the game is at the moment. If the baby Pokemon is active, the opponent has to flip heads in order to even do an attack. They have a permanent, smokescreen style effect, I guess, on them, where, yeah, the opponent just doesn't get to do anything if they don't flip heads. They all have 30 HP, no weakness, no resistance, no retreat cost. They all have a 1 energy, well, with Elekid as an exception, they have like a 1 energy attack that does various things. Cleffa's one is the thing that alters everything. Shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 7. We've never seen anything like this. The closest we have is like Kangaskhan, or that Rocket Psyduck, or the Zubat, right? They draw 1 card for the same cost here. This thing gets you out of everything, right? If the opponent Rocket Sneak attacks you down, or lasts your entire hand, and you have just 1 energy and this thing in the active spot, guess what? You can get back into the game. You can actually play the game. That's been what's missing. We haven't been able to play the game because we just get disrupted and we lose because we lost a coin flip. This thing changes that. And it's so important actually that we have made special packs here that remove the Cleffa, and we're going to just give everyone 2 of it. We don't want to give everyone 4 because that would probably be a little bit too busted. Well, not busted, but considering the draft format, we're not playing constructive, right? But we want people to have a chance to play the game, and giving 2 and removing them from the pack entirely is probably the fairest way of doing that. It is a rare, so the chances of pulling more than 1 or 2 aren't super high. So I've had sets that have had 4. I've had so many sets that don't have any. So we're just gonna give 2 and then remove them from the general pool. The other one that we have here, though, the other Cleffa from the promos, isn't quite as good. It's just a little eek. It's not an eek, but it draws 2. This is still good. This will still see play. So, definitely worth it. There's a bunch of other stuff here, and honestly, there's a lot of cards to go into from this set, but I think it's better just to open the packs now and see what we can talk about from there. So, this is about as condensed as I'm going to get things here. Honestly, I've been 15-minute intros and stuff on this before, but really this set is just so game altering that it needs to be spoken about. So let's see what we can get. First off, hey, First off, we have one of the game-altering cards immediately here, Sneasel. Some people will know this one because it actually got banned at one point. Not in our current format. It got banned after the rotation from Neo Revelation on. And it got banned because energy removal got taken out of the format. Darkness Energy is a special energy, so you can only play 4 Darkness, 4 Rainbow as your entire energy requirements for this thing. But it basically was like a flippy version of Wigglytuff, except it does like twice the damage for each of your Pokemon if you flip heads on them. Darkness Energy as well increases the damage that dark Pokemon do to the active. So this thing could reasonably hit 80 for 2 special energy. Keep in mind we still have Comp Search, and we have lots of ways to draw into the stuff. And it's got 0 retreat, no weakness because apparently dark Pokemon just didn't have a weakness to begin with, and it still resists Psychic, so it fulfills the same purpose as the colorless Pokemon. Absolutely absurd. Super Scoop Up comes in here too. This is kind of neat. This comes back a bunch of times, and it's mostly used with stuff like Shaman and Gen 6, but it could still see some play here as well. You could easily use that with some come into play powers that are in this set, so pretty cool. Next pack here, we have the other most infamous card of this thing. We are going to be playing this with the errata. We've been playing everything with errata, but this especially needs to be. This card didn't get banned for way too long, but it's the other banned card out of the set. The only other banned card until Lysander's Trump card, actually. Whenever the opponent plays a trainer card, you may flip a coin. If heads, it does nothing and put it on top of the deck. Spins it. The catch? This was supposed to read if this is in the active spot, then it does that. But it doesn't. And its attack is terrible, right? Like 3 Psychic Energy, 20 damage. You can 30 and confuse if you flip heads. Woo, right? But like, it's not actually that good. But when it reads that it doesn't have to be active, that means it stacks. And so this basically is worse than Chaos Gym, because if the opponent tries to play a trainer, then they're going to draw into that trainer again next turn, and you have 3 of this on the bench, the opponent's got a 1 in 8 chance of actually doing that. It's horrendous. Definitely one of the worst cards ever when it is not errata. This is also really cool, actually, as far as the next pack goes here. For Alligator, it doesn't come in until after rotation, but this was like the undisputed best deck of that era, this whole thing basically, when rotation hit. You can discard all of your water from the hand. That seems really bad, but then you look at the attack, it does it shuffles the waters into the deck and does 10 plus 10 times. It is slightly mistranslated here. If you don't get to shuffle the water energy back into the deck, you do not do more than 10 damage. So there is a Parasect, I think, in like 2 sets time that this stops you from moving energy from the discard or something that would like hard counter this. But yeah, it does almost unlimited damage. Remember Trash Exchange from 2 sets ago that like switches your discard with your deck? Not quite, but like it adds your discard back to deck and then mills that many cards from the discard that you had in the discard even. Yeah, that puts all your water energy in the discard again, and you just get to do a ton of damage with this. So took a fair bit of setup, but very, very strong card at that stage. Then we get one of the weakest rares coming out here, the arcade game. This is just so bad. Like, reveal the top 3, and if 2 of those cards share the same name, you put all the ones with those in hand. Like, if you're playing a ton of energy, maybe you could use that, but like, just why? Goldberry is really important. In between turns, and this is going into the opponent's turn potentially as well, if you have at least 4 damage counters on you, heal 4 and then heal 40 and then remove the Goldberry. So this works with the high HP like evolution cards to stop them from dying in like 2 hits, right? You can turn 2-hit KOs into 3-hit KOs, and with 100 plus HP on a lot of these things, it's for alligators at 120, right? With so much HP on these things, that is definitely a very powerful one to go into. This is also really good. Okay, this pack is fantastic. We have Double Gust here, so this makes both players... This is Warp Point, but instead of you choosing what you switch into, the opponent chooses what you switch into. And vice versa. So this has Gust of Wind, and then... But the opponent chooses what you go into first. So if you pair it with these baby cards that have 0 retreat, and you don't have to pay energy for any of your non-attackers, you can just basically treat this as like Gust of Wind, but also gets out of like switching problem effects too. That's really cool. We then have Professor Elmin here, which is the new Professor Oak. I mean, every professor's got to get represented, right? This one Shuffle draws 7, which is obviously much better in evolution decks where you don't want to discard the evolution stages, right? However, you can't play more trainer cards in that turn, so there is a restriction on it. And basically you combine this with stuff like Cleffa. You're trying to get your Pokemon out, your energy, and then you Cleffa into a new hand afterwards anyway. Definitely very powerful. We'll probably see some play, but might not see that much until Oak rotates. And then we get Magby. And Magby is very important in this set, because this disrupts Pokemon powers until the end of your next turn. That means if you're going against Vileplume, Magby can actually stop. Yeah, it makes the opponent able to play trainers as well, but it guarantees gives you a turn of getting trainer cards out. Plus it's a baby Pokemon, so it does have the baby rule to it, and it does damage, which actually does matter. This 10 damage can be good. You can just ability lock your opponent out on some of the stuff here. So definitely good to have that around here. Second Professor Elm is super good. Yeah, I was really worried that I wasn't going to get any of these. This is fantastic. Okay, what else is cool in here? The Pikachu has an errata actually. It's supposed to be 10 plus 10, not 10 plus 20, so that's a bit unfortunate. Double Gust is fine. This Stantler is somewhat interesting. It's kind of like the new Tauros in a way, except it doesn't do like a ton of damage, but it can confuse, I guess is okay. And yeah, I mean, this is Tauros when Tauros rotates, right? But double colorless goes as well. Probably not worth it at that stage. But still, worth noting, this Wooper is a butt. Like, Wooper resists lightning because it's part ground. That's one of the things that they did with this gen. It's really kind of neat, actually. Good for the water decks, so you've got your lightning weak Blastoise, say, and then your lightning resistant thing here. I don't know. It's kind of neat. But Amnesia is an attack that's only ever been for 2 water, like 2 colored energy so far. This thing does it for 1. And if you can stop the opponent from being able to use, like, Sneasel's Beat Up or something, say, it's pretty good. Good stall tool. So, not too bad. And then this for Alligator, this isn't the good one, but I mean, I could still see it maybe having play here. Keynote for Alligator is weak to grass and not lightning as well. So another one to diversify the weakness pool in the water type. This one actually got a reprint in like the most recent set, I think. Where you flip a coin when you play it down. If heads, you mill the top 5 of the opponent's deck. If tails, you mill the top 5 of your deck. It can do a ton of damage as well if you get the energy out on it. Which, I mean, honestly, this could be good for Ninetales, right? The box Ninetales deck. Because the ability is kind of sketchy, but that attack is really strong. So, yeah, water-based Ninetales deck might actually be able to use that. Pretty cool. Alright, so there's our first 6. Definitely a lot of good talking points on stuff here. So let's keep going. And we have, wow, a ton of good stuff out of it here. So we got the Elm. Noctowl is really worth talking about too. This is what Rocket Sneak Attack probably should have been. It's Rocket Sneak Attack, but on a coin flip, and it's not a hard once per turn. The not a hard once per turn bit is worrying. If you set up a bench of like 3 Noctowl, then you can disrupt a ton of stuff out of the opponent's hand every turn. Cleffa can still help you get out of that, but that's still annoying, right? Its attack is nothing special, but it could still see some play for that, I guess. 0 retreat as well. Very, very good for that. The new Pokedex probably not really worth looking at, to be honest, but I mean, shuffle your deck and then look at the top 5. It's basically the same thing as Pokedex, really, except I guess if you've already know what's on the top of your deck, you could shuffle it up and get rid of that. Darkness energy is the big one here. We're not giving ourselves any additional energy here. Even though, like, Dark and Metal Pokemon do rely on this stuff, Metal energy is really freaking strong, and we don't want to give multiple copies of that out just now, because it's a bit stupid. Darkness energy increases the damage that the Pokemon does by 10, but at this time of the game, if you are not a dark Pokemon, either by name or type, you effectively poison yourself. You do 10 damage to yourself at the or 1 damage counter at the end of every turn. But you could still technically use this on any Pokemon to close out the game as a plus power thing, right? But it's most used with the Sneasel to give it like an average of 80 damage on the full board. Kinda gross, right? Because yeah, it includes itself, so it's kind of cool that way. Alright, next one. We have Meganium here. This is kind of an interesting one. It's not the best Meganium, but it's definitely still kind of neat. When you play it down, you flip a coin. If heads, you full heal all of your grass Pokemon. And all of the opponent's grass Pokemon, actually. It is all grass Pokemon in play. But you Pokemon Center without discarding energy. Its attack is fine. It mostly works with the other Meganium that doubles grass attachments on grass Pokemon. So that's the better one, but this is still neat. Like 40 with a paralysis chance is kind of cool. You can still play double colorless with it, which is not too bad. If you ever worried about status condition stuff, Miracle Berry here is full heal, but when you actually get status, it's probably not super good, but when full heal rotates, you could see it maybe. A couple of interesting things in this one. The Quagsire is like a dual fighting water stuff here. Like, it's just the other Quagsire that comes out later inverts the energy requirement stuff here. Earthquake is a little bit underpowered for how much it takes, but at the same time, it's, 2 colored, 2 colorless, whereas the Dog Trio that did this for 70 was like 4 fighting. You can mix this in like a couple of different decks, right? If you have Psychic weak fighting types, say, you could use this to hit for like different weakness and stuff. It's kind of okay. The Donphan here is pretty interesting. So, Flail is just a good attack, right? Like, for a 70 HP Pokemon that's decent to have around, Rapid Spin is really quite cool. It forces both players to switch their actives, but the opponent chooses what they come in for. So it's like Warp Point on an attack, but it also does 50 damage. If you combine this with the baby stuff, you're probably able to do quite a lot of damage and then go into a Pokemon with a baby roll, and then just retreat at next turn and do the same thing again. Pretty good. Like, it's a decent enough hit and run attacker. Bill's Teleporter might see play after rotation. It's not a great card, but like, if you flip heads, you draw 4. So when we don't have Professor Oak and stuff, that might be worth playing. So definitely alright. Togetic. There was a promo Togepi, so this could actually be played a little bit. This is the quote-unquote new age Clefable. It's what Clefable should have been in the first place, to be honest. You have to flip heads in order to use the attack, right? However, it does actually make, it says here, like, it does make you do any other things that the attack requires, right? You must still do anything else in order to use that attack, like discarding energy and whatnot. Togetic can make that attack even if it does not have the appropriate number or type of energy attached necessary. They made it super clear as to how that like works out. It's not quite as bulky, but it does have a fighting resistance. It's kind of neat. No weakness is also sort of cool, so it could maybe see play. No retreat cost is nice too, but it's on a coin flip, so I don't know. It's a bit iffy. Another Goldberry is good here. This Croconaw is the better Croconaw, probably. It does more damage, it's got more HP anyway. Discard the top 3 of your deck is a little bit awkward, but I mean, it's still 50 damage for an evolving Pokemon. It's quite nice. The Xatu here, I guess, is sort of neat too. It's like Hypno when Hypno rotates, but it resists fighting is somewhat cool, I suppose. So, yeah, might potentially see some play. Let's move on. Focus Band is the big one. Okay, so we also have Togepi here as well. This one's got 40 HP, so it might be a little bit better than the promo one. But I think the promo one's also got Mini Metronome on 2 energy cost though. But this one might be better. Auto Poison is somewhat neat, I suppose. Focus Band is the huge thing here. This makes it so that it's got Giovanni's Machamp's like ability on any Pokemon that has this equipped. If it's going to get KO'd by damage, you flip a coin. If heads, you survive on 10 and then discard Focus Band. There's no way of removing the tools in this era, at the moment, so it's kind of absurd actually. We definitely want a couple of those, because you put that on a baby Pokemon, the opponent's got to flip 2 heads, or, you know, you've got to flip a tails and they've got to flip a heads to KO the thing. Kind of absurd. This Typhlosion is cool. It's not the one that I want. I've said this with a Meganium too, but it's still very good. If we could get enough of a Typhlosion, this would see play. When you put it into play, flip a coin. If heads, you get 4 fire energy from your deck and attach it to this Typhlosion. That's absurd. You have to discard 3 fire to do its Flame Wheel though, which is kind of annoying, but it does 80 to the active, probably KOing just about everything, and then 20 to each bench Pokemon. Does include you, which is slightly awkward, but it means that you are doing so much additional damage here. And this energy, like Fire Boost, could potentially just blitz it out of nowhere. You then have the other Typhlosion, if we could ever pull it, that lets you recover fire energy from the discard pile, so you could recharge that attack. Very, very strong. This is one of the rares I was hoping not to see here. Energy Charge is going to come back as an uncommon in a future set. Flip a coin if head, shuffle up to... It says up to. It's supposed to be exactly 2 or 1 if there's only 1. Energy cards get shuffled back from the discard into deck. This is the one way of recovering special energy, like the darkness that we've seen so far. So that could potentially come into play. Super Rod is a somewhat interesting card here. You flip a coin, and if heads, you get an evolution card from your discard pile into hand. If tails, you get a basic. So if you're playing evolution lines, this might be something to consider. So, somewhat neat there. Wait, how did I actually pull the Cleffa out of this? Oh, that's a problem. Okay, I'm gonna have to bring that up later on, but okay. Apparently we got the Cleffa, so the way I'm gonna solve this then, I think I'm just gonna get like a new pack out, and I'm going to roll the... Oh, I know what happened here. Oh, damn, yeah, I know what happened in total. Whoops. Shit. Okay, no, that's fine. We'll just re-roll the stuff there. Okay, so we got the Noctowl. I know what's happened. I didn't use the packs that had no Cleffa in it. Whoops. Yeah, so second Noctowl is good. The Cleffa we will re-roll later on. Second Focus Band is good. Seadra is also worth noting. Not necessarily because of the Kingdra that's in this set, but because of the Kingdra that's in the future set. This Mud Splash is basically the same thing as what the Misty Seeking was, except I guess Bubble can paralyze, that's kind of neat. But this Seeking gets play, Seadra even, gets play with the Kingdra that comes out a couple of sets time that can reuse its attacks without having to pay for the cost of it. And it does it for a colorless energy too, so it's very strong at that stage. Next up, oh, another one of the Feraligatr. Ooh, that is good. That is real good. We got 2 of this one now. I might try and build a deck on that. That would be very interesting. Just need to get enough of like the Totodile and the Croconaw. I do have this Croconaw as well, which I didn't note before. Jaw Clamp is kind of fun. Like, it stops the opponent from retreating next turn, and even if they play a trainer card that would let them retreat, that part doesn't do anything. So, yeah, that's kind of cool, I suppose. Definitely still fine to play. What else is neat? The Gligar is somewhat interesting in here because it doesn't have a retreat cost. Double colorless, 20 damage. So if you're playing a DCE focused deck, this is pretty good. Also resists fighting, so it's kind of a Cypher replacement maybe? I don't know. I mean, it hits a different weakness, so you could play it alongside it too, which is kind of fun. Elekid is worth it, and also the Elm here. Yeah, I mean, I really don't want to restart this. I can't restart this one because it would be cheating. So yeah, we'll just reroll that later. Elekid is cool. It's not the best of the babies, but it is cool. Instead of attacking, you can use its power, flip a coin. If heads, you do 20 damage to your opponent's active. Apparently applies weakness resistance too, so you could hit a water type for lightning weakness. Or like a bird or something, I don't know. It's kind of funky, but it works, I guess. It's neat. And it does end your turn for doing that, but it can be used off the bench too, which is kind of interesting. If you just don't have the energy to attack, this thing could actually be good. I think there is a deck that plays this, so not too bad to find there, actually. Girafary's got agility for a double colorless. I guess that's sort of interesting. Like, you could blink tank with it maybe, but it's not really worth it. Jumpluff was one that I was hoping not to see here. Jumpluff in the TCG is always like very low energy, usually just 1 energy attacks that don't always do a ton of damage here. It's probably one of the worst holos out of the set because of this. It's a shame because the Hoppip is actually really good. But yeah, it only does 20 with its attacks. You can heal 10 off it. Woo, I suppose. It's not got a lot of HP. That's the other thing that Jumpluff never does, is have like high HP, which is a shame. But yeah, it just does 20. Like, Auto Sleep is potentially okay, but not really. And yeah, I don't know. It's not damaging enough. Zero Retreat is good. I think the whole line has got Zero Retreat. And the Hoppip actually does the Bellsprout thing of gets more Hoppip out of the deck. So, I mean, if you pulled enough of it, you could probably play it. It just doesn't do a ton of damage, so you would need to back it up with something else. Alright, second half, let's go. Another Donphan is really good. The Croconaw here is fine. I'd play this one. This Croconaw is okay. Granbull is somewhat interesting to look at because it does have Rage, basically, but for a lot of energy, and then it does damage to itself afterwards. I mean, maybe, but I don't think it's going to be good enough. It's only 10 plus as well, so yeah, it's just kind of outclassed here. Piloswine's somewhat interesting just because it's another lightning resistant water type, right? Its first effect is somewhat neat, like opponent can't attack. It's just about the same as paralysis on it though, except it gets through Snorlax. I guess that's kind of fun. And then Blizzard is just an attack we've seen quite a bit here. Again, maybe this is the sort of thing you could tech into Blastoise to give them a lightning resistance in there. Maybe not necessary. Sudowoodo I think is kind of cool though. This thing lets you do a decent amount of damage with Rainbow Energy specifically. It's also Water Weak, which is different from every other fighting type out there. So if you play Rainbow, maybe this is something worth considering. Because that 30 damage is quite nice, and Flail is just a good attack, right? Oh, so many of this Donphan too. This is kind of cool. I mean, Phanpy is an uncommon. I have quite a few of them though, right? I like 2 so far. If I can get enough of that, maybe that's a deck that's worth playing too. Yeah, another Noctowl also is super strong. Hoping to see Pichu actually as a potential out to that. Ariados is somewhat interesting as well because it also has like the, yeah, can't retreat thing, except it doesn't have to stay active for it to work. So that's pretty fun, I guess. You could trap stuff with that. Next up, Skarmory. We need the metal energy to make this work. Skarmory, yeah, metal Pokemon are resistant to grass. That is their big thing here. Its second attack is fine. Like, it, you know, metal energy reduces damage as well, so you could tank quite well with this in Goldberry. But it's just, I mean, if it was not on a coin flip, it'd probably be too strong. But yeah, it's just a little bit too frail, I think, for requiring a special energy at this stage of the game. There's a second Cleffa, so we're gonna have to re-roll that. Yeah, I know exactly what happened. I just forgot to use the pack. Not even forgot. I was just like pulling the packs out of the box rather than the ones out of the bag. So whoops, that's unfortunate for me. Like I say, we'll re-roll these, we'll get a couple of rares out. The same Meganium again, unfortunately not the super good one here. The Electabuzz is kind of worth talking about. On the same vein, there's a Magmar that I didn't even speak on that does the same thing here. Double colorless for 20 damage. There's a few things, like we've seen the Gligar. This is another potential thing for like a DCE deck, just to hit a ton of weaknesses, right? You could just play one of it, and it's pretty cool. Also only has 1 energy retreat compared to the original Magmar, Electabuzz's 2, which is kind of fun. Super energy retrieval is quite a nice card to have here. So this actually was in the original TCG game too, but it's just got like super delayed in terms of its release here. It's, yeah, trade 2 of the other cards in your hand for 4 basic energy out your discard pile. Very fun for Blastoise that I don't have, but still kind of a cool card in general, so not too bad. Alright, 2/3 of the way through. Another energy charge is really annoying here. Don't particularly want to see that, but that is fine. I guess Pokemon March is something I haven't spoken on here. It's like mini challenge. Both players get to get 1 basic from the deck and put it onto the bench. That's kind of okay. Next up, second Magby is really good. This is the 4th Noctowl too. So we have a full Noctowl playset if I want to go down that route. That is very good. Second of this Typhlosion. I need the other one. The other one is super good. Like, if I could somehow get 2 of that, I'm playing Typhlosion this round. But in, like, 9 packs left, that's almost definitely not happening here, unfortunately. Let's keep going. Second Elekid is pretty decent. I need, like, one more Phanpy as well, actually. That would be probably my ideal setup here. Time Capsule is one that we haven't seen yet. Also, the Seadra is really good. The opponent may choose 5 basic Pokemon evolution and or basic energy from the discard pile, or, you know, as many as they can out of that, all or none, and then they can shuffle them back into the deck. That sounds really bad. Obviously, you're giving the opponent resources back, but you get to do the same thing. You can't play trainers for the rest of the turn. Again, supporter rule type stuff coming in here, but this is your, like, super version of the nightly garbage run that we have seen so far, and that's kind of cool. You could use this in some decks that, like, spam Misty's Wrath, say, and you could recover a bunch of the stuff that you've discarded with that, I guess. Pretty neat. I don't know if it's good enough, but hey, I mean, you could get a ton of energy back into the deck, then evolve into the Typhlosion and accelerate to it, right? That would be fun. Second Sneasel is neat. This is also like the 4th Seadra now, which is really good. I was hoping to get a playset of this for later on. Yeah, second Sneasel, I mean, I only have the 1 Dark, so probably not going to be playing it. Like, Rainbow Energy is nice and all, but I don't think it's worth it. Last 6 packs over here. Hey, second Dark Energy, alright. Asking you shall receive, I suppose. Let's see what else we can get here. The Murkrow. Oh, this Murkrow was a dick. This probably has, like, the strongest attack to ever exist on a Pokemon card as well. 0 Retreat, by the way, because apparently that's just a thing. The defending Pokemon can't retreat as long as Murkrow remains active. For 1 Dark. You lock in something that can't damage Murkrow, and it's game over. Lights out. If the opponent doesn't have gusting options, we're going to need to play a lot of, like, switching and stuff here in order to get around this effect, because this is dangerous. If somebody pulls enough Darkness Energy and the Murkrow stuff here, this could be game winning, you know. It also then just chooses one of the opponent's Pokemon, does 20 damage to it. I believe it will do 30 to the active if you attack it because of Darkness Energy. Yeah, if the Pokemon is attached to attacks and damages the defending Pokemon, yeah. So it will do 30 if it hits active, but most of the time you're going to be locking something in and then bench sniping to win the game. Alright, 4 packs left to go. Let's see what we can get. 4th Donphan, but I only have 2 Phanpy at the moment, so that's a little on the unfortunate side. Next up, a second Murkrow. Okay, that's fine, I suppose. Next one, a 3rd Sneasel, why not? 5th Elm as well, so that's trade fodder, is pretty useful. And the last one, second Time Capsule. Okay, we whiffed a Pichu, is a little bit unfortunate here, but that is... it is what it is. So, because I ended up getting the 2 Cleffa because I derped on how these packs are supposed to set up here, just before I sort the stuff here, let's take these away. It's kind of funny, actually, isn't it? I pulled 2 Cleffa and we're getting given 2 Cleffa. It's kind of funny. Let's go ahead. I actually do have the saved object here that I should have been thinking. It's a Clefaless pack over here. It's an infinite bag that has the ones that I was talking about. And I just completely messed up. So what we're going to do is we're going to open packs until I get 2 rares. And I'm just going to take the rare. I'm not going to take the other stuff. So Time Capsule is one of them. So we have 3 of that now. I didn't see Eco Gym, did I? No, I did not. An arcade game is the other one. So... kind of unfortunate, no Eco Gym would have been... Eco Gym would have been nice, because energy removal is still a pain. But then again, it's only a pain for like 2 sets, so I ain't really too fussed there. So, okay, yeah, this has been going on for quite a while, because goddamn, I talk about these things all day, as we know. So let's just go ahead, wrap this up as quick as we can here. We will go ahead and group everything up, do the filtering stuff, and have a little chat about how this one went, because honestly, I think this was kind of cool. There are a few things that I wish I got out of here that I just obviously didn't, but I think there are some rather interesting decks to look at here. I wish I had more of the Phanpy though. Like, I think that's going to be the biggest loss that I haven't had out of here, is I only have the two Fampi, if I've looked at this properly, which means that Donphan probably isn't super playable this round. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to see if I can scrounge that off of someone for next thing. I might just play it anyway, though, right? Like, just play 2 of it. Seems not unreasonable. So yeah, this will be the bit that I would show to everyone else at the end. Here is just go over the actual pull stuff here. We will spread. I actually got a ton of Goldberry too, just looking at that. It's really nice. So, a couple of good trade things coming in here as well. Happy to see that. There are so many cards in the rest slot here that that it's difficult to get everything that you would want, right? So, I'm pretty happy overall. We've got 2 Magby, is fantastic. The Elekid probably could see play. I don't know if I will play it, but like it could definitely see play here. The 4 Seadra for later is really good. We did get Kingdra in this set, but that's fine because the Kingdra is not super good. 2 good for Alligator, and then 1 of this one. That's also really strong. Brock's Ninetales could be the play with it here. Also, plenty of Croconaw too. 3-3 for that. So, fantastic to see. Maxed out Noctowl, if I do want to play that sort of disruption line, that could be a play. The Togetic is interesting. Might be worthwhile here. Only the 1 Quagsire. It's a little unfortunate, I suppose, but I probably wasn't going to be playing it anyway this round. The Quagsire in, I think it's Neo Revelation, again, it inverts the attack types, so it's like 2 fighting for 30. Whirlpool is pretty good though, so it might end up running that later if I do want to play Quags. The 2 Murkrow, 3 Sneasel, 2 Dark Energy. It's kind of interesting. I didn't get Recycle Energy, so a little bit awkward there. Also no Metal, but it's a Holo. I don't really expect it. Yeah, just a 2 Fanpy to go with a 4 Donphan here. I might still try it anyway as a 2-2. It's just really unfortunate to not get like enough of them to play here. I don't think this is the sort of thing you would Brock's Ninetales into, so I'm probably not going to consider it that way, but who knows, right? I didn't really talk about the Miltank either, but like this Miltank is super annoying. Like, flip 2 coins, remove 2 damage counters per heads that you get for just a single energy. That's a big pain in the booty. So, I don't know, could be interesting, I guess. Maxed out Goldberry, was it 2 of the charge here? 2 Focus Band, this is perfectly fine. Really good stuff here. 4 Elm is fantastic for later. I was very worried about my consistency going into post-rotation, because I didn't get as many good ones out of the gym sets, but this is going to work out super well. Triple Super Scoop Up, might play them. Triple Time Capsule, there are actually some, like, gimmick shit that I could probably play with that would be interesting. Also, maxed out Bill's Teleporter. Again, could be good post-rotation. I think that's mostly it as far as like the super interesting stuff goes. Yeah, because I mean we got a lot of the basic stuff. Sunflora was kind of funny because the Sunkern's got that growth attack that was on the Venusaur, so you know, kind of not power creep per se, but it's just kind of funny that works out. Yeah, the 2 Meganium would be good. Again, we didn't get the good ones of the Meganium or the Typhlosion, unfortunately. The Meganium that's like really good doubles the energy efficiency on your grass types. It makes grass energy apply as 2 grass, so that makes it a lot easier to power up these expensive attacks. And then the other Typhlosion I was really hoping to get, because that Blaine's Arcanine lets you flip a coin, and if heads, it attaches a fire from the discard to one of your fire Pokemon. Can be active as well. So that would have been fantastic, but unfortunately we just didn't get it. Actually kind of funny, I'm seeing we didn't get any of the other Quilava. There are 2 of each of the evolution lines in the main. Got 0 of the other Quilava, it's kind of weird. As far as the spare stuff goes, we've got the Spare Elm is the best one. Goldberry is pretty good too. Spare Bill's Teleporter if anyone really needs to go down that sort of route. Quilava, I guess. Other than that, yeah, nothing too amazing as far as the spares, but that's okay because we got what we needed. Bunch of Double Gust if somebody somehow doesn't get them, but it is a common, so it's likely that would be the thing. Yeah. Overall, like, super happy with this. I can't really complain too much. Really, the only stuff I missed, we'll go over those when I actually do follow-up to this, which will be the why the format was busted and why this will save the game type thing. We're gonna follow up on that, but for now, yeah, really happy. So thank you very much for stopping on by here. I hope this set goes better, but tune in on Saturday for the stream stuff to find out, I guess. Alright, take care everyone.